sometimes people just don't get along. And worse yet, sometimes people dislike each other altogether. Well, it's no secret that that is exactly the case between Quentin Rampage Jackson and Sugar Rashad Evans. Well, tonight, they finally get to settle the score. It's been a long time coming, but it does get settled tonight on this episode of Jay's Brawl Call. It's UFC 114, Evans versus Jackson. Coming up next, Diego Sanchez and John Hathaway. Right after this break, stay with us.
Ready to turn everybody.
Bisbing! Oh, big right punch to the chin. A mini corner right here, left, right. Oh, Joe Kennedy's in all kinds of trouble.
Champion of the world. How's that sound to you?
Yeah, it sounds great.
Welcome to Jay Adams' Brawl Call.
A quick prelim fight to talk about before we get to the Sanchez-Hathaway fight. This one featured Luis Kane coming off a TKO loss in his last UFC appearance, and Cyril Diabate. Cyril winning 9 out of his last 10 fights. Diabate has extensive experience in shootboxing, kickboxing, and Muay Thai, and holds WKA and national kickboxing titles. He was ranked as high as the top 5 internationally in both Muay Thai and kickboxing. He was also the striking coach for Team Henderson in season number 9 of The Ultimate Fighter. Kane with TKO wins against Thierry Sokaju and Jason Lambert came out strong and caught Diabate early with a huge left hand. Diabate wisely held on, shook off the cobwebs, and Kane couldn't capitalize. That would turn out to be Kane's only chance, as he couldn't take the world-class striker to the floor. Well, that's all Diabate needed, as the 6'6" French striker let his hands go with exact precision for the TKO and his UFC debut win. The 7th fight tonight featured a welterweight matchup between Diego Sanchez and John Hathaway. Failing to take the lightweight title from former champion BJ Penn, Diego Sanchez was looking for redemption by moving back up to 170. As always, Sanchez was in great shape, both physically and mentally. Unfortunately, his style of fighting was figured out by Penn, and I think John Hathaway must have studied the tape. Sanchez simply didn't match well against the much taller, undefeated Brit. This was the Hitman's 4th fight in the UFC, and easily his biggest name opponent to date. From the beginning, Hathaway was able to stand up quickly against the takedown, and after some measuring, started peppering the Nightmare. Diego had some impressive right hands of his own, but they never seemed to hurt Hathaway, who did a good job of moving away from Sanchez's power. Hathaway had disciplined hands, which more often than not instinctively jabbed and found their mark off the break. Diego never found an answer for Hathaway's impressive stand-up, and his shot was met with effective knees, one which hurt and dropped him. Hathaway, who impressed UFC brass in Ireland during UFC 93, remains undefeated and looks like he might have a nice long career in the UFC at 170.
So John Hathaway making the most of his debut here in the UFC, beating the Nightmare, looking very, very good doing so. He was beating Nightmare to the punch all day long, and of course those great knees, great takedown defense, and the few times that he did go down to the canvas, getting up to his feet very quickly. Great job, John Hathaway. Don't forget, we still have Dan Miller, Michael Bisbing, highlights from that fight, and of course, Quinton Rampage Jackson, Sugar Rashad Evans will be going at it. We'll have highlights of that, all that and more. Stay with us.
Give it up for the former UFC light heavyweight champion of the world, Sugar Rashad Evans! Ladies and gentlemen, first up on the scale, former UFC light heavyweight champion, winner of the Ultimate Fighter, Sugar Rashad Evans! $206 for Sugar! The former UFC light heavyweight champion of the world, Quinton Rampage Jackson! $205 for Rampage! All right, Rashad, I'm going to talk to you first. Rashad, I'm going to talk to you first. Obviously, tremendous amount of tension between you guys. A huge build-up for this fight. Give us your thoughts on what's going through your head right now. How about some love, ladies and gentlemen? How about some love for Rashad? Give us your thoughts right now on what's going through your head the night before one of the biggest fights, if not the biggest fight of your career.
I'm just trying to stay relaxed, man. You know, I'm excited about this. We talked it up. Now it's game time.
Do you feel any additional pressure coming into this fight because of all the trash talk that's going on between you guys and because of how long it's taken to make this fight come to fruition?
I mean, there's definitely some anticipation, but at the same time, it ain't no thing, man. It's just another fight, you know what I'm saying?
Well, I can't wait to see it. Good luck to you, sir. Ladies and gentlemen, the former champion, Sugar Rashad Evans. All right, I'm here with Quinton. Quinton, again, a lot of love for Quinton, ladies and gentlemen. Huge build-up for this fight. Give us your thoughts on what's going through your mind right now the night before this fight.
He's dead! I've been waiting a long time for this fight. I'm happy to be back in the UFC. It's time for me to crack some skulls tomorrow. He's dead!
Is this the most animosity you've ever felt towards an opponent?
Ever in my life. I never trained so hard in my life. I'm so glad he got a big mouth. I'm glad he talk all that mess. But I don't know why a guy with a glass jaw shouldn't talk so much. He shouldn't talk so much. I'm going to shut him up for real. Much love to all you fans out there.
We can't wait to see it. Good luck to you, sir.
I dedicate this fight to Memphis and to the UFC. My fault, Memphis, for not making it, but it's going down tomorrow, for real.
The former champion, Quentin Rampage Jackson, ladies and gentlemen.
Eighth fight tonight, right in the sweet spot of the main card, featured Antonio Nogueira versus Jason Brills. After Forrest Griffin suffered a shoulder injury, Nogueira needed to make some quick adjustments to fight the Nebraska Class A wrestling champ. Brills, for his part, found himself stepping up to fight a huge name on the main card with just 4 weeks' notice. If he had any misgivings, it definitely didn't show during the walk-in, as he clearly enjoyed the opportunity to show why he was 18-2. Round 1 was close, with most analysts giving it to Brills. After the close opener, Brills took command at the second. The two traded guillotines, and Brills came very close to choking out Lil Nog. As the round came to a close, Brills again hurt him with a combination that almost finished him. Nogueira stumbled back to his corner. 2 rounds to nothing, Brills. Well, adversity seems to bring out the best in world-class fighters, and Nogueira came back in round 3. When Brills got him to the canvas, he easily swept to top control. 1 round for Lil Nog. Somehow, the judges scored a split decision for Nogueira, which caused a deafening cacophony of boos inside the arena. The 9th fight of the night had 6-0 Todd Duffy facing 14-1 Mike Russo. Duffy had caught everybody's attention when he knocked out Tim Hague in 7 seconds, setting the UFC all-time fastest knockout record. Russo, for his part, entered the night with 8 straight wins, including his UFC debut with Justin McCullum. From the beginning, it wasn't even close, as Duffy picked apart Russo from every possible angle. Duffy throws bricks, and he relentlessly punished Russo. Mike Russo has the best chin in MMA, period. No one in the arena could even believe Russo was still standing at the end of the second round. Well, headhunting in rounds 1 and 2 didn't work, and if Duffy was told to mix it up in between rounds with some takedowns, he didn't listen, because the third round was more of the same until the very end. What? That's Russo's hand being raised. I can't show you what happened, but at the end of this show, go and find this fight. It's worth it. 10th fight on the card tonight had the Brit the Yanks love to hate. Michael Bisbing against Dan Miller. Bisbing, tough season number 3 winner, was having a spotty run at 185, beating Dennis Kang, but losing to Dan Henderson and Vanderlei Silva in his last 3 fights. Michael was almost in a must-win situation. Miller was flat out in a must-win situation, having lost his last 2 fights in a row to Chael Sonnen and Damian Maia. To make matters worse, Dan's 4-month-old son has a genetic kidney disease, and he needs the UFC check to provide for his family. Bisbing always lobbying the American audience in hopes of losing his black hat.
Well, I wanted to finish my opponent tonight, but it was very tough. You know, obviously, wanting to finish him is one thing, but actually doing it is entirely different. As I said, he was very tough, very durable. I hit him with some big shots, but he was hungry. He wanted the win bad, and he hung in there. In terms of where I am, you know, the only losses I've got on my record are the 3 former champions and all legends of the sport. You know, so I still hold my head pretty high as to where I am in the middleweight division. But obviously, I've got to keep gaining on the momentum. I feel now I'm starting to mature as a mixed martial artist and coming to my own, skill-wise and confidence-wise. You know, I want to keep building on this win, and hopefully, you know, towards the end of the year, early next year, get a title shot. And I want to be the first Englishman to win a title. I was the first guy to win the Ultimate Fighter, first English main eventer, and I will be the first English world champion.
What an incredible night it's been right here from Las Vegas, the MGM Grand Garden Arena. Brills should have gotten that decision over Nogueira, no question about it. And, of course, that upset. Russo getting the job done over Duffy. Have you ever seen a one-punch upset win like that? Let's check out some other action.
Man, it's time for the talking just to be done with, you know. I think I said everything I can say. We're 2 days away right now, so I've been thinking a lot lately, thinking about the fight, dreaming about the fight. I really went inside of myself and kind of quiet now, you know.
Who knows what he's going to do, but I'm prepared for everything. If he shoot on me more, if he shoot on me less, it's up to him. I'm prepared for it.
I know what I'm good at, I know what he's good at, I know what he's not good at, and I know what I'm not good at. So I'm going to try to stay out of those positions where I'm not good at, try to capitalize on the position that he's not good at, and just see where the fight takes me.
I wanted to be very prepared for this fight, so I took the 13-week camp. You know, the first couple weeks were just pre-camp. It wasn't training hard. I know what to do. You know, I fought my last fight overtrained, and that's the last thing I want to do is come in another overtrained fight.
I'm going there expecting the hardest, toughest rampage ever. It's that anticipation. You know what I'm saying? I never wanted to put my hands on a man so bad in my life.
Well, what can you say about this fight that hasn't already been said? Rampage Jackson is 30-7. He's fought all over the world. He's a former Pride star, former UFC champion. He's beaten Chuck Liddell, Vanderlei Silva, Dan Henderson, Matt Lindland, and Marijo Bustamante. And, quite frankly, he's a man who hates this man, Rashad Evans. Evans is also a former UFC champion of the world and won Season 2 of The Ultimate Fighter, the heavyweight division. He was a collegiate wrestler and is considered one of the most athletic fighters in the sport. He's beaten Chuck Liddell, Thiago Silva, and Forrest Griffin, and he holds a very impressive record of 14 wins with only 1 loss. Now, Rampage took some time off to star in the A team, and in the past had retired from the sport altogether, which led many to wonder about his commitment to the sport. Some also question the quality of his camp, while Rashad trains at world-class Greg Jackson's with George St. Pierre, Nate Marquardt, Keith Jardine, Shane Carwin, and John Jones, just to name a few. Rampage chose the Wolf's Lane in England, still a good school, but many question the travel schedule across the Atlantic and if there was anyone there who could truly discipline what some people are saying is a growing vanity on Rampage's part. Round 1 saw Rashad open in dominating fashion in the very first exchange of the fight. He executed an almost flawless game plan, utilizing speed and takedowns, and set up his takedowns beautifully, leaving Jackson looking confused and frustrated. Rampage had Rashad hurt on a botched double leg and went in for the kill, but he couldn't finish. That would turn out to be his one and only threat in the entire match. Rashad wins an easy one, unanimous decision, and moves on to face light heavyweight champion Mauricio Shogun Rua for the belt.
All right. We did a gate of 15,081 people, 3.895 million. I'll give you this submission of the night was Ryan Jensen. No secret who the knockout of the night was, Mike Russo. And fight of the night was Brills versus Nogueira. All those guys win $65,000 each.
He had a great game plan, and it worked well for him. So I'm not a sore loser. That's why I commended him. You know what I'm saying? We, you know what I'm saying? We all cut from the same cloth. We all, you know what I'm saying, put our lives on the line and get in the octagon and do battle. You know what I'm saying? We the alpha men, I feel. We the alpha men of the planet. And, you know what I'm saying? If anybody beat me, no matter how they beat me, on what day they beat me, and I respect that.
And if I could go to Rashad, please. Obviously, congratulations on the win. In your mind, what was the key to your victory tonight? You said you kind of came in without a game plan, but what do you think was the key to the win?
One thing I wanted to do, I wanted to keep him guessing. You know, Rampage probably the best in the game when it comes to timing people pulling back and catching them with the uppercut. But I wanted to keep him guessing and not knowing what I was going to do. And I picked up on a couple of things that he was doing, you know, in anticipation for my shot. So I wanted to try to exploit that.
And was it difficult at all to maintain that discipline in that process? I mean, there were some boos coming in. The crowd didn't really necessarily wasn't feeling the game plan so much. Was it tough for you to keep that discipline?
No, it wasn't. You know, one thing that you understand really quickly as a fighter that the fans really don't understand is that you're not punching with 8 or 10 ounce gloves on. You got 4 ounce gloves on, and underneath that's a cast. And it only takes one good shot for the fight to be over. So I wasn't trying to take no shots for no amount of boos.
A question for Rashad. Rashad, congratulations. It looked like you guys buried the hatchet afterwards. You spoke for a little bit in the middle of the octagon. Can you tell us what you said?
You know, I was just giving him his respect. You know, he came back from you know, You know, he was doing his movie and things like that, and he had a lot of things on his plate. And I know it had to be hard for him to come down and focus and to, you know, commit himself to the training camp with everything else he has going on. So, you know, he went in there and fought a lot better than I thought he was going to fight. And I was definitely impressed with that. Whenever you go in there and you fight somebody for 15 minutes and they give you everything they got, you know, there's a bonding experience, there's an exchange in there, and I respected that.
And for Rampage, you talked about the ring rust. How soon would you like to get back in the octagon?
Well, I would like to get back in there as soon as possible. You know, I didn't like the way I felt, how much I hesitated, stuff like that. This fight's going to hunt me for a long time as well. You know, I'm just one of those guys. You know, it's really going to hunt me.
After the fight, Rampage said he'd like a rematch, and I know that Rashad has an obligation now. But do you see a possible Evans Rampage 2?
I think anything can happen. You know, it depends on what paths they take from here on out. He's obviously going to go on and fight Shogun for the title, and we'll see who Rampage fights next, and we'll see what happens from there. Like I said before this fight, I'll say it again after. These are two of the best light heavyweights in the world, and you know, they could meet again.
Okay. And lastly, for Rashad and Rampage, you guys have said a lot of really harsh things to one another entering this fight. Now that it's over and you've had an opportunity to get some of that, I guess, testosterone and anger out, is it possible that you guys can now bury the hatchet and move beyond this and you know, I guess, I don't know how to put it, but I guess shows, you know, that mutual
Rashad
respect?
can still kiss my ass. I just respect him. He did a good fight, but he still can kiss my ass. He said a whole lot of stuff. I ain't going to forget it, but, you know what I'm saying, we both warriors, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not a sore loser. You know, I'm a fighter. I've been a fighter all my life. But, you know what I'm saying, I still ain't going to forget the stuff he said. He still kissed my black ass.
Yeah, I feel the same way, man. He can kiss my ass, too.
Joe.
Question for Rashad. Obviously now title shot on the line. Any message for Shogun as you prepare for another crack at a title you lost?
Nah, I'm just gonna just enjoy tonight. You know, it's always worrying about what's gonna happen tomorrow. I'm just gonna live it.
So I want to thank you for joining us on Jay's Brawl Call. Hope you enjoyed this very special night of highlights from UFC 114 from Las Vegas. We'll see you next time.
Randy Couture, everybody!
Iceman! Oh, big right punch to the chin!
champion of the world. How's that sound to you?
Man, it sounds great.
Jay Adams Brawl Call.